Hey, what's going on, YouTube? How's everybody doing today? Hey, it's gonna be a quick video, maybe a video response, but commentary. The ever elusive subject of the Second Civil War has arisen its ugly head again, this time in the form of another YouTube video, and it's an analysis. I've initially wanted to blow up at the creator, but I'd have my reservations about the creator as well. But anyway, Fourth Dimension ACAS put out a video this morning concerning this Second Civil War video. I had some commentary, which is good stuff. I'm kind of on his frame of thought, as in it's not going to go down the way they present it, but I've got additional onto that. But John Mark my words over there, made a video concerning this staff general or staff officers breakdown of a Second Civil War as a part of a red cell blue cell exercise. Basically, they break into teams and they analyze, what would happen. And Mark my words breaks this out and shows the advantages of each side would have, and goes throughout it and provides, what the officer said about it and whatnot. So I guess it was all just, that's the way the information was relayed. But I have my doubts about the originality of that and about the intent of that channel, considering its arc and trajectory. But anyway, separate issue. But I think the biggest thing to take away from that video about the Second Civil War is either one, it's just presenting it. Staff officers get their orders and they're going to present the information, and they're going to deal with the scenario as it's presented, just like we talked about with our exercise stuff. Just deal with the scenario as it's presented. So if that's the case, it's just a thought exercise, because it's not based in reality in any sort of functional way. If this sort of thing was to start, this country would break up into far more than just two factions vying for control of the political power in Washington, D.C. We are way past that, even today, at this moment. Give it another couple years, it's going to be even more fractured. I think you easily have 5 or 6 factions that would easily quickly split off for their own agendas, should the eventuality of this sort of thing start up. You're going to have the two big people that are trying to maybe fight and vie for control of Washington, D.C., but then you're going to have those that just want to absolutely break up and be a separate part and break apart from it, especially when it's no longer advantageous for them to be a part of it, right? Which ties into another article I saw last month, maybe it was a couple months ago. Business Insider, a former Marine, supposedly, did an article about the U.S. breaking up in about 6 different geographic regions and fighting it out, going fisticuffs and brawling, going full-on warfare. It wasn't fisticuffs, to vie for the control of America. It's like, and that doesn't make any sense either. Much like ACAS said in his video, even referencing this John Mark video, was why would somebody leave Texas to go fight in California? You're going to put down those evil Californians? Most people aren't going to do that. People are going to be like, at that point, once people have gained independence and from the power structure, from a separate political entity, they'd be like, I'm done. This is it. Draw the lines, draw the boundaries, and call it good. You don't see a lot of people that are going to be motivated to deploy across the country to fight some other group when their home base and their home state is either, one, not fully secure, not fully taken care of because of instability, both economically and by logistically, with food and everything else. And there's what would be the motivation behind it? It doesn't make any sense. But once they've secured their own independence, they're good, right? Got off track there a little bit. But also on the Second Civil War video by Mark, it doesn't address the reality that we would have 5 or 6 different entities vying for this Civil War and how it would break out. So it's completely detached from reality in that way, and not really a useful scenario, I don't think, because it doesn't factor in nearly enough variables, as to who would be in control of what functions of not only government, but power, military, and logistically, food, water, all those things. Who's going to be in control of those things? It doesn't address a lot of that stuff well enough. Second, and this is my mind starts thinking, it seems more like a COINTELPRO piece, or very, very easily could be, and it can be used as one of those because it easily subdues the right. Those that have the motivation and the capability to do something, it puts them at ease not to, because it demonstrates in this list that's up there of right versus left, the right has all the advantages. Why would the right lash out when they're already in control and have all these advantages over here? Am I the only one thinking like this? That, you know, that puts a lot of people on the supposed right at ease. There are already enough people are fooled by Donald Trump that he's supposedly fighting the swamp when he's a part of it. There's already enough of people like that, but even more so, this kind of thing puts people that have the guns and the means to do something at ease, because they're like, oh, we've totally got this in hand. There's no reason to act out right now. So it's totally seems like a COINTELPRO piece in that, from that perspective, as to put people at ease that think it is left versus right. It reinforces the left versus right mentality in so many people's minds, because if you're a military strategist and you're looking at reality, you know it's not just a left versus right thing. There are many more factors, and not only subversive elements, but breakaway elements that would get involved. It talks a little bit about Russia and China, I won't get into, which is all hypothetically possible to get involved with any side or any scenario. But I would just go check out those videos if you haven't seen them. Check out ECAT, check out the Mark My Words, put them in the description box below. I'll see if I can find that Business Insider article that guy wrote about the 6 different geographic regions breaking up, which is my mind more likely, except for it gets into actual invading each other across the country. Like, once Texas breaks away, they're not going to go invade anybody, I don't think, unless they're, you know, if Coloradoans are being invaded by California, they might, you know, then do a war of mutual protection, right? They can politicize it then at that point, but I don't see them trying to go invade and take over California or New York for that reason. They're like, leave us alone. Same with California. They're not going to go halfway across the country to the Mississippi. Doesn't make sense. That's the only part of that scenario I definitely disagree with. So this subject comes up once again about this time, but this latest thing seems more of as a appeasement article to appease the masses, as in, yes, you have all the power, you would win hands down and easily. When it couldn't be further from the truth, and it wouldn't. I've said it for a long, long time. The goal should be to end Washington, D.C. as it exists and reorganize under various republics or states that suit their needs, which will probably require some fighting, but it's much more desired than the current status quo. Especially once the economic hard times hit, it'll probably happen anyway. So that's some thoughts, YouTube. Top down day, live free.